What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So, continuing off this series of our top 10 predictions for NHL 19, I just learned that EA is going to release the top 50 players for the game tomorrow on August 21st. So, we're going to have to hustle up. In this video, we're going to be doing the top 10 right wingers, top 10 defense, and the top 10 goalies. So, we're going to do this real quick. I'm going to give you a list of all my top 10 right wingers. I'm going to discuss each one, give the honorable mentions, same for defense, same for goalies. So let's get right into it. At number 10, Brock Boeser from the Vancouver Canucks, 86 overall, 62 games played, 55 points, 29 of those were goals. Unfortunately, he was injured, so he was kind of put out of the Calder Cup race, and Matthew Barzal took that. Number 9, Mikko Rantanen, 87 overall, 81 games played, 84 points. The year before that, he had 75 games played, 38 points. So this year was a breakout year for him. You can expect a big contract coming his way. Number 8, Patrick Laine, an 88 overall with 82 games played, 70 points, 44 goals, and he was neck and neck with Ovi for there a while. Almost winning the Rocket Richard. Number 7, David Pastrnak, 89 overall, 82 games played, 80 points. He just seems to be getting better and better every single year, David Pastrnak does. So look for him to be maybe top 10 in scoring this year. Number 6, Phil Kessel at an 89 overall, 82 games played, 92 points. It was a career year for Kessel, and he did get knocked out of the second round of the playoffs by the Washington Capitals. Number 5, Vladimir Tarasenko, 89 overall, with 80 games played, 66 points. This was a disappointing year for Tarasenko. Unfortunately, they did miss the playoffs, but if Tarasenko gets a full healthy year this year, I can expect probably more than a point per game player. He's a fantastic player and can score 40 goals easy. Number 4, Jakub Voracek at a 90 overall. With 82 games played, Jakub Voracek finished with 85 points. Him and Claude Giroux tore it up, but unfortunately they lost in the first round of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Number 3, from the Winnipeg Jets, Blake Wheeler at a 90 overall. With 81 games played, 91 points. Blake Wheeler had a career year. They lost in the third round to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Number 2 here, we have Patrick Kane at a 90 overall. Another kind of disappointing year. Patrick Kane had 82 games played, 76 points. They did miss the playoffs because of Crawford injured a lot. If Crawford can be healthy this year, you can expect them in a playoff race, but I mean, Cam Ward as your starter if Crawford's not healthy is kind of scary. Number 1, at a 91 overall with 80 games played, 100 points, 39 of those goals, we have Nikita Kucherov. This kid was fantastic this year. He really emerged as the scorer we all knew he was as soon as he hit the ice. He's a fantastic skater, fantastic shot. Him and Stamkos were definitely the new dynamic duo of the year 2017-2018, and I'm really excited to see what they can do next year. Honorable mentions that almost made the top 10 for right wingers is Evgeny Dadonov, Mark Stone, Sebastian Aho, and Radulov. All 4 of those players maybe could have slotted in where Brock Boeser was, but I'm a Canucks fan, so I put Brock there. I think he's definitely a top 10 right winger in this game. Alright, so moving on to top 10 defense in the league. Starting off at number 10, I have Seth Jones at an 88 overall. 78 games played, 57 points. He was the staple for Columbus Blue Jackets defensive line. Number 9 and number 8, I actually just changed thinking about it. I did have Gostisbehere and Klingberg, but I'm switching them out for Pietrangelo and Letang. So At number 9, we're going to have Chris Letang at an 88 overall. And number 8, we're going to have Alex Pietrangelo at an also 88 overall. Number 7, PK Subban at an 88 overall. 82 games played, 59 points. He is the cover boy for NHL 19. He's also one of my favorite defensemen, probably one of the most charismatic people in the NHL. It's hard to hate him. He's such a funny guy. Number 6, Roman Josi, 89 overall, 75 games played, 53 points. Him and Subban are probably the best defensive, pairing in the NHL, and Nashville probably does have the best defense in the NHL. Number 5, John Carlson at a 90 overall, 82 games played, 68 points. He led the defensemen in points this year. He also won a Stanley Cup too, so good on him. Number 4, Brent Burns, 90 overall, 82 games played, 67 points, tied with Klingberg for second in the NHL amongst defensemen in points. Gotta love this guy. He looks like a human teddy bear. Now, my top 3 are really interchangeable. I really all like these defense, and I think they're so talented. But at number 3, at a 91 overall, Drew Doughty, 82 games played, 60 points. He is probably the best all-around defenseman in the league. Like, he can score and he can hit. He can be a defensive defenseman, or he could be an offensive defenseman. He's such a great player. Canada's gem on the blue line, he is. Number 2, Erik Karlsson at a 91 overall, my favorite defenseman in the league. He had some problems this year, unfortunately, with the passing of his son, his stillborn son. All that rumors going on with Mike Hoffman, and also the injuries he's had. It's astounding that he was able to skate every night. It's astounding that he was able to capture 62 points only in 71 games played. That is why this is my favorite defenseman in the NHL. He has the heart of a lion. He's such an inspiration to everybody. I have nothing bad to say about Erik Karlsson. That's why he's on number 2 on my list. Number 1, in my opinion, the best defenseman in the NHL, Victor Hedman, 92 overall. 72 games played, 72 games played, and 63 points. He was a plus 32 this year. He also won the Norris, and is my opinion, the best defenseman in the league. Like I said about Drew Doughty, this guy can do everything. He can score, he can hit, and he can defend, most importantly. Honorable mentions. So like I said, I had Pietrangelo and Letang here, but I swapped them out for Gostisbehere, Klingberg, and then Ryan Suter and Torrey Krug. So Gostisbehere, Klingberg, Ryan Suter, and Torrey Krug are my honorable mentions for defense. Alright, last but not least, top 10 goalies in the NHL. We're going to start off with number 10, Roberto Luongo, at an 88 overall. He did only play 35 games this year, had some problems with injuries, but he managed to get 18 wins, had a 2.47 goals against average, had a .929 save percentage, and it was to him the Panthers only lost by 1. If he didn't come back, the Panthers would have been out probably before the trade deadline, but the way that team put themselves together is why they almost made the playoffs. Number 9 here, we have Marc-Andre Fleury at an 88 overall. Marc-Andre Fleury playing 46 games, captured 29 wins, had a 2.24 goals against average, a .927 save percentage, led Vegas to the Stanley Cup. He was the best goalie in the playoffs, and he was one of the best goalies in the regular season as well. Number 8 here, we have Connor Hellebuyck at a 88 overall, with 67 games played, 44 wins, 2.36 goals against, and a .924 save percentage. Vezina finalist. He really stepped up as the #1 goalie for Winnipeg. At number 7, we have Andrei Vasilevskiy. Like the defense, I kind of had to rework this list. I wrote this list and I totally forgot about Andrei Vasilevskiy. While recording this, I'm actually shifting people's overalls and everything like that and their position on the list. So for that, I have Andrei Vasilevskiy right there. Number 6, we have Jonathan Quick. 64 games played, 33 wins, 2.4 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage. In the playoffs, though, this man was a monster with a 1.55 goals against, .947 save percentage. At number 5, we have Tuukka Rask at an 89 overall, 54 games played, 34 points, 2.36 goals against average, .917 save percentage. He wasn't that good in the playoffs, though, unfortunately. He only did about a .900 save percentage in the playoffs. He's a really shaky goalie. If he was a bit more consistent, he probably would have gone higher, but he slips from time to time. At number 4, we have Braden Holtby at a 90 overall. This man played 54 games, catching 34 wins, a 2.96 goals against average, and a .907 save percentage. Now, we did have a very poor regular season. Grubauer actually started the playoffs, but as soon as Holtby got in there, he captured a 2.16 goals against average and a .922 save percentage in the playoffs, winning the Stanley Cup. So, I mean, it's all worth it in the end. Number 3, we have Sergei Bobrovsky. 90 overall, 65 games played, 37 wins, 2.47 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage. They did lose to Washington, unfortunately, in the first round, but he's definitely a top 3 goalie in this league, in my opinion. Number 2 here from the Nashville Predators, Pekka Rinne at a 91 overall, with 59 games played, 42 wins, 2.31 goals against average, and a .927 save percentage. He did win the Vezina this year, and I think he deserved it. I mean, he's the reason why Nashville did so well. Their defense is almost impossible to beat, and that's why he's number 2 on my list. Number 1, Carey Price at a 91 overall, 49 games played, only 16 wins. He did have a 3.11 goals against average and a .900 save percentage. This was his worst season. So why you're asking I have him at a 91 overall is because he is the best goalie in the NHL, hands down. He did have an off year. Everybody has an off year. Just because he had one bad year doesn't mean I'm not going to put him down at number 10. He had some diversity with this year. Montreal did. They're not performing the way they could be, but I think next year, as long as he's healthy, he's going to have a really, really good year. Honorable mentions for the goalies, we have Frederik Andersen, Antti Raanta, Corey Schneider, and Henrik Lundqvist. Antti Raanta had a fantastic year. Since the trade deadline, I think he was like the best goalie in the NHL. He was so good. I think he's probably going to be at least an 86, 87 overall start of the year. But that is it for my top 10 goalies, defense, and right wings. That's all wrapped up. So tomorrow EA will be releasing their top 50 players in the NHL. I will do a review on that and see if I got any right, what I got wrong, and yeah. So I'm looking very forward to that, and we will see you all in another video. If it's anybody's birthday today, happy birthday. Bye, guys.